pleasure to introduce this year's keynote speaker, Mr. Gonzales. He's one of the most kind, energetic, thoughtful, and driven persons I know. Meet him and you just might think of him as the guy next door. I'm fortunate in that I get to call him the guy a couple of offices away from me at Cleveland Clinic's Office of Diversity and Inclusion. Gonzales has worked in the nonprofit sector for over 15 years, and for 6 years he worked for Hispanic UMAD AOP. From 2005 to 2007, he was the executive director of El Barrio Lesum, and since 2007, Mr. Gonzales has served as director, diversity and community outreach at Cleveland Clinic. He is also one of you students, because he is an Esperanza Scholarship recipient, and he is president of the Hispanic Roundtable's community programs. But above all of that, Gonzales is a dedicated leader for all of the communities he serves, and a devoted husband and father. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Gonzales.
Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. Eleanor, first of all, thank you so much for that introduction. I think my parents would have been very proud. And let me give you here probably the best case of why each of you continue to be engaged with Esperanza as a full partner in the effort. Esperanza's involvement and impact in our community has been shown over the years. I would like to provide you perhaps with and share with you part of my testimonial. And you heard Eleanor say earlier that I'm actually a recipient of Esperanza. Actually, I'm a 1991 recipient of Esperanza. And so I came to Cleveland 43 years ago. My mother and father decided to uproot us from the island of Puerto Rico and come to Cleveland to obviously achieve the American dream. And honestly, to this day, I continue to tell them, why Cleveland again? Especially during the winter time, right? But it has been actually a great place for us to live and call home. But I think that the real reason why I'm here is because I will be able to share with you a little bit of a tidbit of that experience that I am so grateful for. And it actually starts with a difficult transition as I experienced the culture shock and acculturation issues, including my limited English proficiency and fluency at the time. Therefore, actually, after I took the exam to enter high school here, because I came actually as a 13-year-old, I actually ended up attending West Technical High School, which actually was one of the Cleveland public schools that had a bilingual program. The school environment, for those of you that know West Tech, as I like to call it, as my alma mater, was not conducive of learning at the time, and we had major gang problems. But despite that, I recall that, honestly, it was the teachers who really created a nurturing environment for many of us. And I remember in particular my science teacher who decided to actually extend her hand and said, "Kid, I don't know what you have, but you're driven and I want to help you." And she was the one who really connected me with an organization, and she said, "You can go there, they will provide you with tutoring, they can actually help you with the language." And she actually went on to say, and the agency's name is Esperanza. And that was actually the first time as a 9th grader that I heard the name Esperanza. And literally, the organization, the first thing that came to mind was the word hope, because obviously that's what it means in English. And I said, well, I have to check that organization and see really what they're all about, and how they might be able to support me in this effort. And it was actually Esperanza who allowed me, actually mentored me, nurtured me, enrolled me in the after-school program, and allowed me to become one of their own. And through that experience, and I remember sitting in a leadership development exercise, there was actually a great civic leader there that I met, and I became fascinated by her story, and her name is Sister Alicia Alvarado. And Sister Alicia, I remember when she said to me, "You can always think high, achieve your dreams, but not at the expense of forgetting who you are and where you come from. And to that, I am very gracious today that I have continued to follow that, obviously, that charge that she gave me back in '91. That became the beginning of my civic involvement. And 4 years later, in 1991, when I graduated from high school, the organization actually provided me with a scholarship. And that actually provided me clearly the opportunity to go on to college and actually cover, at the time, obviously, most of my expenses for that first year. Obviously, through that, I had a partnership with the university that I attended, which was actually Cleveland State University. And clearly, my civic involvement continued at that point, but it always brought me back to Esperanza as the anchor in our community. And in 1994, I decided to actually join the ranks of the Hispanic Unidad and became a prevention specialist at the organization. And that was actually my first time really engaging with our community. And to me, that was actually, it was amazing, the impact that I saw that one individual could make in our community. And so that actually continued to force me and engage me in raising the bar in terms of my commitment to my own community.